Hey everybody, this is Steve with Newegg TV, and today we have a very special guest from ASUS in the house. Once again, we have Twan. Twan, how's it going, man?
Good, how are you?
I'm good, I'm very good. So today you've brought in the brand new ASUS ZenFone 2. Very excited about this. I know that the ZenFone did not come to the United States initially, so this is the second iteration of it, and finally we're getting it in the US, correct?
Correct. So the first generation we had about, I think, 3 different sizes. This time we only have a single 5.5-inch model that has a really nice 1080p IPS display.
So maybe we should talk a little bit about some of the basics, some of the basic feature set you can expect with the phones.
So for the most part, all 3 phones use a variant of the Intel Atom Morphill processor.
Cool.
The bottom rung one starts with the Atom Z3560, so you get turbo boost up to 1.8 gigahertz.
Okay.
And stepping up to the flagship is the Z3580, which gets you up to 2.3 gigahertz. And they all have the same PowerVR G6430 graphics. So pretty solid graphics power, great for gaming. And the headliner is you get 4 gigs of memory. So
Yeah, that's huge.
yeah,
That's
tons
huge.
of multitasking potential.
So which version of Lollipop? You said it's Lollipop on the iOS that's using this right now.
Yes.
Have you guys done anything with the kernel, or are you doing anything special?
So we customized it with our own ZenUI launcher and interface, which has a couple of nice features. It's customizable, but the neat features are the gestures. So if you draw a C, it'll launch the camera. You can configure about 5 different gestures to launch whichever apps you want.
Nice. Any plans to release the kernel out for others to start?
We actually did publish the kernel source. It's available from our support section. I believe root has been achieved by the community so far.
I feel like root was achieved before it was launched.
Yeah.
They're so quick sometimes, right?
It's amazing what they can do.
So a couple other things I want to ask too. Is it LTE enabled?
Yes, it's LTE compatible with your typical AT&T and T-Mobile bands, and which also supports the MVNOs that use those networks.
Nice. In terms of the specs though, I think I want to try and hit what all of them are.
So at the bottom you have the 2 gigs of RAM, 16 gigs of storage, and the Atom Z3560. So after that you get the Z3580 with 4 gigs of RAM and 64 gigs of storage.
What about SIM compatibility?
So the headliner is the dual SIM capability. You can be connected to 2 cellular networks at the same time. Only one can be used for data, but for me, I have my personal and my work phones on the same phone now.
Nice.
It makes my life easier since I don't have to carry 2 phones anymore.
Absolutely.
Or if you're constantly crossing the border, either to Canada or Mexico, and you can just have a second SIM ready to go when you cross the border.
Travel's actually a really good point. Going to Taiwan for Computex, another really good one.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about the camera. What megapixel camera is it? And
So it's a 13 megapixel Pixelmaster camera. We've implemented a lot of features, including the HDR mode that will auto expose properly in shadows. Cool. And an awesome low light mode that'll take a picture in pretty much pure darkness.
Wow.
And there's some new selfie features like the panorama selfie, and so you can get a lot of people in a shot. And there's the beautification mode, so if you want to thin your cheeks, add blush, and various effects to your selfie, it'll do it live.
Any other features that we maybe haven't touched on yet that we should talk about?
Oh, it does support a quick charge technology. We call it Boostmaster. You can charge up to 60% of the battery in just a matter of 39 minutes.
Wow.
So if you're always on the run, constantly on your phone like I am, then just a quick charge helps a lot.
Yeah, especially when you only have 39 minutes to charge your phone or less.
Yeah, especially when you use GPS all day, it really runs down the battery.
Yeah, I can imagine. All right, so I want to draw your attention back to the phone just for a quick moment because I realize we haven't really talked about the button configurations, and I only see one button on this phone. At the very top here is the power button.
So we put the volume buttons on the back so you can hold your hand, like brace the phone with your thumb and fingers, and then just use your index finger to adjust the volume.
Okay.
So it makes it a lot easier, more ergonomic, and you don't have to fumble and maybe drop your phone trying to reposition where your thumb goes.
That makes perfect sense. Also, they have a 3.5 millimeter tip ring sleeve plug for microphone and headphones, right? We also have one that we've already cracked the case off of to show you guys where the dual SIMs would actually go in. They're kind of slid out a little bit so you can get an idea of where the SIMs would actually pop back into. And micro SD card slot.
Yes, it supports micro SDXC up to 64 gigs.
Nice. I see 128 in here.
We can't say we officially support it.
Gotcha.
But it's been running there perfectly fine.
This is a Patriot one too, I'm guessing,
Yes.
right? Awesome. So Twan, is there anything else you wanted to add before we part ways?
Just that the phone is sold unlocked without any carrier obligations at all.
Nice.
And works with your typical AT&T and T-Mobile compatible MVNOs or lines on either company.
Very cool. Well, right on. Tuan, thank you so much for taking the time to come in here and joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
No problem. Thank you guys also for watching. Don't forget to stay tuned for more stuff just like this on our YouTube channel, which is at youtube.com/Newegg. And until then, we'll see you guys soon.